All right, it's here. It's cold and flu season, and there's sickness everywhere. I love hanging out with people, and this time of year, I'm always a little cautious, thinking, okay, what's this going to mean, in a week for our family. I was especially cautious before Christmas. We've made it through, but I know that we as moms are doing whatever we can to avoid our family getting sick because inevitably one kid gets it and you think you're in the clear, and then the next one. And if you have multiple kids, this can last a long time till they get the next thing. So I'm curious for you, were your holidays affected by cold and flu? Last year, my now 9-year-old, he had a fever that of course started, Christmas Eve. And I have all these pictures of him sitting miserably on the couch, trying to enjoy his presents. But we homeschool, and I've been thinking about how do I get my kids to want to stay well? I don't want it to just be fear-based. What if I could find a way where they weren't just following health rules, but that in a way they could actually understand their bodies and owned their health? So I had a conversation with my kids that I wanted to share today on the podcast, and I hope it gives you some ideas for how to talk to your kids about their immune system in a way that's simple and empowering and not fear-based. Hey, welcome to the Kingdom Fit Moms podcast, where we believe that you can go on a journey to lose weight for the last time. I know you've tried all the things and you may not believe me yet, but when you do weight loss the Kingdom Fit Moms way, everything changes. You're in the right place if weight is constantly on your mind, you're confused about food, you're missing out on memories, and maybe even putting your dreams off for another day because this weight struggle is no joke. We're a community and we're on a mission to invite God into this weight loss journey so you can shed the burden and shine your light. I want you to start living and believing in the version of yourself that heaven sees. Let's get started. Okay, it's time for our Fit Mom Win of the Week, and we have so many gals inside of the Academy who are learning to love real food. And so today's win is simple, but I hope it encourages you as you think about what you're putting in your body. That's kind of the whole gist of today's conversation. But one of our Fit Moms, she posted a picture of basically a taco bar and her family's plates at the table. And she just posted the picture and she said, "A fave in our house, looks good, tastes good, makes you feel good." And I love how God's food, it's beautiful, it tastes delicious, and our bodies they just feel their best when we honor them in this way. And so it's just a simple reminder and a win that you can love real food and you can feel amazing as you eat it and enjoy all of its benefits. So we're celebrating your win today, Fit Mom. Friend, I remember the season where I told myself this time will be different. Different diet, different plan, same ending. I'd start strong, then life would happen. Stress, kids, exhaustion, and suddenly I was right back where I started. Heavier, frustrated, and questioning, why is this so hard for me? What I didn't realize was that weight loss isn't just about food, it's about who you're listening to. Reclaim was born out of that breaking point. If you're ready to stop repeating the same cycle and finally lose weight from a place of freedom, not striving, join me for the Reclaim Weight Loss Boot Camp, January 26th through 28th. We're teaching you how to reclaim your health, reclaim your confidence, and reclaim the woman that God has created you to be. If you're ready to lose weight for the last time in a kingdom-minded community, I invite you to go right now to kelseywickенhauser.com/reclaim to save your spot for our next weight loss boot camp. I cannot wait to meet you inside. Well, if you're listening and you're already thinking about how to be more intentional with your health this winter, not just with a scale, but you really want to not be sick, then I want you to, of course, listen to this podcast, but pause real quick and go sign up, save your spot in the Reclaim Weight Loss Bootcamp, because we're teaching you kingdom principles for health and wellness, and it's going to make a difference in your immune system as well as in your weight loss journey. And it's really going to re-anchor our priorities back to our kids and stewardship and legacy. So I don't want you to miss it. We haven't done a boot camp in a while, so I'm really excited to hang out with you for 3 days starting on January 26th. So go sign up and get into our community. Start meeting your new kingdom-minded friends, and I'll see you inside. Well, this podcast is birthed out of a conversation that I had with my kids. So if you're just meeting me, hi, I'm Kelsey Wickenhauser, and I have 4 kids. 3 of them are two of them are being homeschooled. One's in preschool and he comes along for the ride, and then I have a baby. So my older 2 are 9, 6, and then we have a 4-year-old and a baby. It's a lot of fun. It's so much fun. But I am frankly just really tired of every winter struggling with illnesses. So we are supplementing this winter. And if you want to know what we're using, I'm happy to share that. But we are taking omega-3s and immune boosters and multivitamin every day. So hopefully that's helping. We'll see. But with my kids, I homeschool, and we use some curriculum, but this year has been a little different. I feel like the Lord has kind of given us a release to do our own thing, and it's been so beautiful. I feel like it's one of those years I'm going to look back on and think, wow, that was really peaceful. So we've kind of switched up our style of school, and all that being said, I love looking for opportunities for the Holy Spirit to lead conversation. And, I'm a PA. I could go into a lot of details about immune systems and what's happening at a physiologic level, but I wanted to have a conversation with my kids that would make sense to them. And I can say that so far, we're about a month into this conversation, the idea has stuck, and I've heard grandparents using it, and my kids are using it with their friends. So I would say so far it's been successful. So feel free to steal this idea and use it with your kids. I also was extra motivated this year because we gave our kids a gift of an experience that starts the weekend after Christmas. And so we are going to Legoland, and we're going to, where else are we going? Medieval times, and staying in a hotel. And I can't get a refund if we can't go because they're sick. So I'm like, you know what? We are doing this thing. We're going to find a way to get them motivated, to get their buy-in to wanting to stay well. Okay. And I didn't want to be nagging them because they don't want to eat well because I tell them to. I want them to understand it. And I don't want them to feel shame around certain foods, like this food's bad, this food's good, but I want them to feel empowered. And this is something that I want to encourage you in when it comes to your legacy with your kids. And, what is it that you want them to know when they leave your house? I mean, they have to know how to eat. I think this is one of the most important things. Whether you homeschool, your kids go to public, private school, it doesn't matter. You have to be in charge of teaching this to your kids. And so if you are not practicing this, then you got to come into Fit Moms Academy. We'll teach you how to have a legacy of good health. But part of what I think every kid needs to understand when they leave your home is how to eat real food, what a healthy plate looks like, and be able to make these decisions for themselves. Otherwise, they're going to go to college or do whatever they're going to do, and they're going to gain the freshman 15 or whatever the saying is, because they have this sudden freedom and it feels like that way is better than God's way. So you got to start practicing it and using this language now. Okay. So I had my kids sitting at the table in front of me, and I took out a piece of paper and I drew a picture. Okay. I drew a picture of Gabriel, my 4-year-old, and it was just this little stick figure. And then next to Gabriel was Sally. That was her name, Sally. And she had a little ponytail, and all of a sudden Sally sneezes on Gabriel. This is how I'm explaining it to them. So I asked my kids, if Sally sneezes on Gabriel, is Gabriel going to get sick? And they were like, yeah, yes. And so we went into this conversation and I said, actually, it depends. It depends. And I said, what does it depend on? And, they're like, I don't know. And they threw out some ideas. So this led us into a conversation about having a shield up. And so this is the language that we use when it comes to our immune systems in our house. So I'm encouraging my kids, and in this analogy, that if Sally sneezes on you and you have a really big shield, you might not get sick. Now, there are things that are out of our control, of course. And sometimes we get sick no matter how well we are treating our bodies. So it's not like, oh, you got sick, you're bad, or you failed. But I drew a picture of little Gabriel with a big shield around Sally, and when she sneezes, he's not getting sick in this picture. And so I asked the question, what are some things that give us a big shield so that when we are around people that are sick, we have a better chance of not getting sick as well? And so they named things like eat fruits, eat vegetables, eat God's food, drink a lot of water, get plenty of sleep, which, oh man, lately, the sleep thing, my kids have been wandering around at 10 or 11 at times because they're wired or our schedules are off. So try to encourage them, hey, let's go have a good shield of sleep tonight. Exercise, going outside in the sunshine, getting fresh air even when it's cold. These are all good things for our body. Going out in the cold does not make us sick. I was telling them, despite, some theories. Laughing, having fun, washing our hands really well, all these things we talked through give us a big shield. And so then I drew another picture of Gabriel, and he had a tiny, tiny little shield. And I asked, okay, what are things that are going to shrink your shield so that when Sally sneezes on you, you are much more likely to not have the protection that you need? And basically, they listed out a lot of the opposite things that I just explained, like eating a lot of sugar, staying up too late, or not eating God's food, or drinking sugary drinks, or, all the things that make our bodies inflamed and more likely to be susceptible to illness. So we talked through this, and they have a good understanding. They know that when they go somewhere, I can just use the language now, hey, make sure you put up your shield with fruits and veggies, and they get it. So I would encourage you to use this language, to sit down and have a conversation with your kids, no matter how young or old your kids are. I think this is a really simple way to explain your immune system. And every kid, especially if they're little, they like this analogy of I have a shield up, One thing I do want to mention, I actually got this for my kids for Christmas, and you've probably heard Alex Kindred. She's a physician assistant. She's been on the podcast. And if you look back to episode 195, she talks through her story and how she created a book called My Colorful Plate, and it goes through the different colors of food and the different ways that your body uses them in positive ways. So definitely check that out. It's a really great resource to reinforce with your kids that you're not just making this up. They can have fun trying to seek out a colorful plate. And you can even make it a game. You can say, who got all the colors on their plate today? Or with your older kids, invite them. Maybe it's part of their contribution in your home to cook with you and to make a real food meal each week. That can be, you can get creative with it. So in short, I've just found that this method it takes the conversation away from, you shouldn't eat that or go to bed right now. And instead, it makes it a question of, is this making your shield bigger or smaller? Which results in what all of us moms want: less nagging, more buy-in, and kids excited about their health. So I'm praying over all of us right now that we have a healthy rest of our winter if you're on our part of the world, and that we have a legacy of health in our home. And just remember that when you have conversations like this in honesty, not out of shame, not out of you shoulds, it lays a groundwork for having healthy teenagers and adults who do not need extreme diets, but they have a buy-in that bodies are gifts and stewardship starts young. So just remember, you do not need to be perfect. You don't need to be in control of every little decision around your home. We do need, though, consistent modeling of this, and we need simple language and a whole lot of grace. So try the shield language with your kids this week and hop into our Kingdom Fit Moms Facebook group. Tell us how it went. And before you forget, before we fill up, make sure you go sign up for the Reclaim Weight Loss Bootcamp. We start very shortly, January 26th, and I can't wait to meet you inside. Hey Fit Mom, if this episode blessed you today and you can think of somebody else who's struggling in her weight loss journey, would you consider sharing this week's episode with her to give her a sense of hope? And then while you're at it, hop on over to our free Facebook community, Kingdom Fit Moms, for daily encouragement and support. Let's go shed the weight to shine the light.